This is my chicken tractor, and you can see I'll just go ahead and introduce the two chickens now. They're Barred Rocks, and they'll probably be adding their own comments throughout the video. But this is it. It's about 4 feet by 8 foot. I built it about 2 years ago. You can see the wheels on the left hand side that allow it to be pushed much like a wheelbarrow. I'll show the handles which are placed on the other side, and it makes it really easy to move around the yard. I'll come in for a close-up on the wheels. I just extended the bottom frame and put some lawnmower wheels from Lowe's or Home Depot on there, which roll through the grass pretty well. Move around to the other side and show you the handles that I put on, which are also just something I rigged from probably Home Depot with some just some metal bars that act as handles and work pretty well. These are the chickens close up. There's 2 of them, and we don't eat a whole lot of eggs, but their first year they laid 1 egg a day, which gave us enough that we could give away and have plenty of eggs for baking or breakfast or whatever we wanted to use them for. My favorites are pickled eggs and deviled eggs. But they're now almost 3 years old, and they're not laying quite as many eggs. But I'll show you the eggs that they laid over the past day or 2 in a minute. Some other features of this chicken tractor are a bottomless bottom, I guess. There's no cage on the bottom, it's just grass, and that's one of the best features because they can, every area that you move them to, they like to pick out the weeds or different seeds that they like the best, and of course there's a bunch of bugs that they find, and they also add their all natural fertilizer to that area of the grass, which we've noticed a pretty good difference in areas that we've had this cage set up on. The grass is much greener and thicker. I've added some temporary shade for the summer, and depending on your climate you can add different amounts of shade, but in general the chickens like more shade than sun. They don't really like the sun. They tend to stay in the shady areas, especially in a hot climate like Georgia. On this side of the cage, I have the water reservoir, which is just a 5-gallon bucket with a tube that goes right into their main watering device, and I'll show you how that's accessed. It's pretty easy. This whole side hinges up for access, and their water goes into this watering device, and then their food is just something I built out of PVC piping. It's basically just a gravity design where I fill these 2 sides up with food, and then it falls down into this main tube that they eat out of. It has different containers, and they seem to like that pretty well. As you can see, again, here's the bottom of the cage, bottom view, that shows that there's no wire or anything that keeps them from scratching and picking through the grass to find things to eat. Walk around to the other side, and I'll show you what the water looks like from this side. You can buy these from chicken catalogs. It's just a gravity-fed water that you can use a reservoir, which is a 5-gallon bucket, which if you fill up a 5-gallon bucket of water for 2 chickens, it will last 2 weeks or more. So that makes it nice if you go away for a day or 2 or even longer. You don't have to worry about that. But I always keep an extra backup water just in case, because chickens really need fresh water. And you can see that this has they call it a nipple feeder, but it's like what the industrial chicken producers use to feed water, because it's like a drip feeder, much like you'd see for rabbits. But you can attach that to almost anything. Like this is just a cheap plastic pitcher from Walmart, and I just put that on the bottom. So if this gets blocked up or gets dirt in it, or for some reason runs out, they have this second backup water. I just always like to make sure that they have water. As you can see, this temporary shading again, I can put as much or as little as I want on there, and I just hold it down with a bungee cord. And you can do the same for the sides. If you're in a real windy area, or especially in the winter, you can cover this up as much as you want. Okay, this is the exciting part. This side I have the egg basket, which also has its own separate hinge door. It's just a small door. One of these chickens is probably going to hop up here and want to talk, so we'll see what we can do. This is just another thing I found at Lowe's. It's like a tool bin, and I just zip tied it to the sides, and also set it on top of their perches. Yeah, this chicken always likes to come up and just hang out and say hello. But it works pretty good. I try to keep fresh straw or hay in there, and the chickens like to go in there. It stays nice and cool. And I also made sure I drilled holes in there in the corners, because when it rains, some water gets in there, and so that keeps that from draining out. But here you can see the eggs. These eggs we didn't get to check it yesterday, so this is 2 days worth of eggs, and we have these are nice brown eggs. You know, they're not always perfectly clean, but it's because they're not washed in a chemical bath at the plant like store-bought eggs. And here's even, like, because these chickens are old, here's a strange. It's like half the size of the normal egg, but you get different shapes and sizes, and some chickens, not these particular chickens, but some chickens lay different colors even. You get different shades of green or blue. As you can see, there's 3 kind of different shaped and different size even eggs for today. So what I do is just put those in an egg carton, and I make sure I put the newest ones in the left side and put an arrow on the top to indicate which are the freshest, and we either eat them fairly soon or we give them away to friends. So that's 3 eggs. That's pretty good. So that's about it. Give you another close-up of the chickens. They like to be on camera. I don't really have a name for them, but we've named chickens in the past. I think my wife may have called one of these Betty, or one of her friends did. But these are Barred Rocks. It's a really nice variety of chickens. They have nice coloration, and they're really tame. The more you hold them and spend time with them, they get tamer. And especially if you give them treats, which they always enjoy. Corn. See if I can get her to come up here, maybe for a treat. But all in all, this is it. I've gotten a lot of requests to see my design of the chicken tractor. So that's what it looks like. Wheels on one end, a couple of doors made out of cage material, 2 chickens, and you got an egg machine. Add food and water, and it really makes your yard nice and green. And it's fun if you like animals and healthy, fresh eggs. So that's it. I'm going to run out of time, but I suggest you build one for yourself. You'll be glad you did. It's a great project, and let me know if I can help.